This is a free sample of the book, Man's Guide to Making Male Friends, by Cairo Copeland. The first half of this book is posted right here on YouTube, free for everyone to listen to. If you like this content and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/friends. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/friends.
Chapter 2. The Hierarchy of Relationships for Men. Why is this a big deal? Many successful people spend most of their time alone, and part of their success may even be attributed to that. After all, it's hard to progress in your endeavors if you're around people all the time, because other people can criticize, make unproductive suggestions, or just distract you from being on track. But having friends is crucial to having a healthy and happy life for all, male and female alike. People with more vibrant social lives are more likely to have good health and emotional well-being, and the social life needs to be centered on real friends, meaning people that were once perfect strangers. In other words, not someone with a family tie that has a social imperative to care about you. The most important thing in life, the most valuable thing in life, is not a thing at all. What matters most is other people, and you need to prioritize them. This may sound contradicting at first, because one of the Red Pill's teachings is to make yourself your own original point of concern, to look after yourself first and have an enlightened self-interest. But valuing other people most does not conflict with that. These two actually fit very well together. It is implied that by valuing other people, you've already valued yourself first, because the best way to help other people is not to be a burden on them. You cannot help others until you've put yourself in a position to be able to help them, and that requires you putting yourself first enough to be in that position. But other people are more important than any possession you could own. They are more satisfying than any fancy gadget, hot car, spacious McMansion, or show-off item. These items cease to have any value if other people ceased to exist. The main thing that gives these things their value is that other people approve of them. The movie that sums this up best, and perhaps most unexpectedly, is the 1970s horror movie Dawn of the Dead. In the movie, zombies have taken over the world, and 4 of the last surviving humans have crammed themselves into a shopping mall to hide out. Remember, this was the 70s, so malls were new and hot. These 4 people had all the luxury items available to them at that time, but they were still not happy, even with all these freely attained possessions, because there were no other people around, only zombies. And zombies could not give them validation, emotional support, or pass along wisdom to them, nor could their newly acquired possessions. Only other people can make you feel approved of and worthy. Only they can share with you the very beneficial life lessons. Only they can love you back, unlike a possession. As much as you may love your things cannot love you. Of course, some might also note that other people can often be bad. I might even go as far as to say that most other people are bad and will do you harm. And this isn't coming from a place of nihilism or that all people are naturally evil. It's that all people are naturally selfish and will place their own interests above yours. But that's what makes it so special when they're good to you, the fact that they don't have to be, but choose to be. Because a person is a sentient being with free will to choose. The validation they can give you is far greater than any other source of it. I once learned this lesson the hard way when I was 29 and went to a music festival all by myself. I was looking forward to the weekend getaway. It was to be an escape from my energy vampire family, asshole coworkers, and rude neighbors. I'd get to hang out around the cool kids and hot girls like spring break all over again. Might even get laid. But nothing good came of it. Since I didn't know anyone there, I wandered around the festival alone and feeling out of place. Everyone else was there with a group of friends and having a great time. But I, however, was isolated from these groups and forced to see what I was missing. It wasn't like I could just go up to a group and ask if I could join in. My mind did something it does so naturally and easily in that time. Generate negative thoughts about the situation. These negative thoughts made me feel awful. Thankfully, it was just for one weekend. But imagine feeling like this all the time. What effects could that have on your mental well-being and physical health as well? By looking at the opposite style of life, we can see that people with greater social lives are healthier in the following ways. Lower blood pressure, lower body mass index, less likely to experience depression, and live up to 22% longer. But men today are not told about these things. Neither are they accommodated nor encouraged to pursue them. Loneliness, while it can be likened to a carcinogen, has been mass-marketed and sold to us. Since 1985, pollsters have found that Americans have 33% less people in their lives they'd call confidants. Men's numbers were worse, with a 44% drop. The plot of the movie, The Wedding Ringer, might actually be a viable business idea with this information. The same pollsters found that 1/4 of all Americans hadn't talked to anyone about important matters in over 6 months. Male friendships themselves seem to be in the middle of an identity crisis, while our society is attempting to shift its standards on masculinity, citing that it's toxic to be perpetually stoic, and that men should be more emotional. This conflicts with our nature. Thus, we no longer know what it means to be a man, nor how to be one, let alone how to befriend one. Without male friendships, the isolated male is practically castrated. If you surround yourself with only women, slowly but surely you'll turn into one. Ever seen a married man that has only daughters but no sons, nor any other males in his household? Notice how he's often very soft in his presence. When you're around too many women too often, your testosterone drops. This is just nature's way of ensuring you stay loyal to your mate. With lower testosterone, you're less horny and less motivated to go out chasing other women. As a result, you're less attractive to women, even to your own. The decrease in testosterone makes you more feminine, and therefore your woman feels the pressure to be more masculine herself, which is an undertaking she doesn't particularly enjoy. But to become friends with males, you must come to believe that being male is a good thing and begin to embrace your masculinity. The blue pill conditioning, with its lies of toxic masculinity, has made its attempt to cripple you, like a poor circus elephant chained to the ground as a young calf. It did not have the strength to break that chain, with this conditioning lasting all throughout its life. Even when the calf grew into a great, big, strong adult elephant, it still could not break free because it didn't believe it could. But it is so easy to break those chains once they know they can. Being friends with more men will help you reclaim your power as a male because you'll get more competitive and successful. When you're around more men more often, your testosterone will go up. You will become more mentally strong. You won't complain about many things because you don't want to sound like a bitch in front of the other guys. This is essential for the married man to do as well, especially one that makes his wife his emotional center. When you do that, you make immense sacrifices to please her. You will always believe that your wife never gives you as much as you give to her. And as a result, you'll come to resent her and be passive-aggressive toward her. But by getting emotional needs met by other men, you take pressure off her. When your emotional needs are met by other men, you become less dependent on women. Also less needy, manipulative, and resentful. When a man's male friends still think he's okay, he cares less about his wife being angry at him. But when she's his emotional center, he cannot function until he fixes this. Chasing validation from other men doesn't hinder your ability to get laid like it does when you do this with women. And revealing deep, vulnerable sides of you to your male friends is far more beneficial for you than it is to do so with your woman. We'd like to believe that going to our women for emotional support will forge a stronger relationship with them, but it doesn't. Showing vulnerability to women actually turns them off. While women may say they want us to be more honest with them about our feelings and show more vulnerability, their actions say otherwise. And this is something you can take to the bank, is that whenever there is a conflict between a person's words and their actions, always believe their actions, because that is their truth. They lose respect for you when you're vulnerable with them. Ask any guy that's ever opened up about his emotions to his woman, and he'll tell you that it's always led to a negative outcome. This has led to the creation of the red pill rule: never let your woman know that you're weak or in pain. Sharing these feelings is best done with a therapist or a female friend you have no sexual attraction to, or better yet, your male friends, because you're not trying to have sex with them, so being sexually unappealing to them doesn't matter. Male friends can have greater depth. Male friendships can have greater depth because there are no underlying sexual motives. See, many guys that are friends with women, let's be honest, they're only friends because that's all the woman wants, but the guys wouldn't mind having more. Therefore, they may hide unappealing sides of themselves from her, and thereby limit the depth of the relationship. A blue pill guy will avoid doing anything that might upset his partner and cause her to withhold sex from him. But with other guys, he does not have to please, placate, lie, caretake, or sacrifice what he believes he has to with women. Not having a sexual motive removes the fear and needless walking on eggshells around certain issues, and the straightforward, no bullshit way that men communicate with each other makes it easier to resolve those issues. Further, having a solid group of guy friends, a tribe, or band of brothers, can serve you in other ways when it comes to women besides just being a wingman. There are guys that can watch your back and have your back when you're attacked, especially when a false accusation of assault or sexual misconduct is hurled against you. Having a group of guys that have your back can really help you out. But on the more pleasant side of things, they also help you attain women. You seek women's approval a lot less when you're with your guy friends, and since your masculinity is increasing when you're with them, the women take notice of this. See, masculinity is a lot like the Force in Star Wars. It's invisible, but you know when it's there, and it gives you power. The power it gives is that the more masculine you are, the more feminine women will be around you, and thereby more receptive to you. However, I would strongly implore that you don't use the hope of attaining women as the result to making more male friends. Instead, I'm encouraging you to acquire more male friends so that you won't tolerate the bullshit that comes from dealing with women, so that you have a support system you can turn to when that bullshit naturally arises. Because what makes a man a high-value man is having the respect of other men. The more high-value you are, the more rare you are, the more options you have in the mating market, thus the less bullshit from women you need to take. In the life of a male, there is a hierarchy of relationships. The most important one is with yourself. I would go further as to say that your most important relationship is with your future self, meaning you should only do things that your future self will later thank you for. Next in the hierarchy is your friends. But these friends must be the kind of friends that are invested in your future as well. They will encourage you to only do the things that your future self will be grateful for, and you return them the same favor. Last, in the relationships by order of importance, comes your girlfriend or wife. While it seems very anti-romantic and douchey, it is not done to shortchange her. She comes last because, deep down, no woman wants to be your first priority. She should only be a complement to your life, an accessory to it, never the purpose of it. Further, the more aloof a man acts towards his woman, the more she invests in him and falls for him. She believes that a man would only have an aloof attitude toward her if he had other options with women and could easily replace her. This assumption tells her that you are an incredibly valuable man that she cannot afford to lose. She will love you more for putting her behind these other relationships, no matter what she tells you.
Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book, Man's Guide to Making Male Friends, by Cairo Copeland. If you enjoyed it and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/friends. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/friends.